You've probably heard the stories, right? That Nikola Tesla believed the numbers 3, 6, and 9 were the literal keys to the universe. Well, today, we're diving into a really fascinating system that runs with that idea. It's a numerical matrix that claims to chart out the vibrations of reality itself. So let's see if we can crack this thing open.
So here's the big question we're wrestling with. Could there actually be a secret code to the universe? Something hidden away in plain sight, just in numbers? This matrix, it kind of presents itself as a map to that code. It's a puzzle that tries to link numerical patterns to actual life events. And we're going to take it apart, piece by piece.
Okay, first things first, let's get our heads around the basic premise here. We're not just talking about random numbers. This is a whole system that says, hey, this specific sequence of numbers means this specific thing, connecting them to everything from your bank account to your destiny.
At its heart, you can think of this matrix as a kind of roadmap. It claims to chart out these cycles that start with one number and move through a few others. And each one of these little journeys has its own unique vibrational meaning. And these meanings, they are all over the place, covering money, power, and even really abstract stuff like karma.
So, to really understand how this is all supposed to work, we've got to look under the hood. Let's do a little dissection. Let's break down the anatomy of this matrix, column by column, and figure out what each part is actually trying to tell us.
All right, here it is, our first look at the raw data. And yeah, I know, at first glance, it kind of looks like a complicated spreadsheet for day trading or something, but don't worry, every one of these columns has a very specific job, and we're about to decode them one by one.
First up, you've got the entry price. The easiest way to think about this is as the trigger. It's the starting pistol. This is the number that kicks off a whole sequence, the official start of a specific vibrational journey, at least according to this chart. After you're off and running from the entry price, you get to T1 and T2. These are basically your checkpoints. They're the first and second numerical targets you're supposed to hit along the way. They're just there to mark the progress of that specific vibration. Once you've hit those targets, you finally reach the cycle completion number. And as the name pretty much gives away, this is the finish line. This number signals that the pattern, whatever it was, has run its full course. The vibration is complete.
Now here's where it gets kind of interesting. There's a stop-loss column. If that term sounds familiar, it's because it's borrowed straight from the world of finance. And here, it's like a safety valve. It's the number that tells you, nope, the pattern's broken, it's time to get out of this particular cycle.
And finally, we get to my favorite column, the most mysterious one of all, the meaning. This is where the magic is supposed to happen. It's where the system takes all those cold, hard numbers and translates them into actual ideas, into qualities and concepts. This is what gives each sequence a name and a purpose. And trust me, the language it uses is something else. So, I've been hyping it up. What kind of language are we actually talking about here? Let's dive into this so-called language of vibrations and check out some of the wild, descriptive, and sometimes pretty mystical definitions you find in that meaning column. You know, as you scroll through this thing, you start to see these big themes just pop up again and again. There's a ton of talk about financial cycles, for sure. But it's all mixed in with these ideas of karmic shifts, personal power, and what it actually calls universal frequencies. It's this really fascinating mashup of the material world and the metaphysical. I mean, just look at this example. It perfectly captures that blend. Spiritual money vibration. See? The matrix isn't just talking about getting rich. It's connecting wealth to a spiritual quality, almost like they're two sides of the same coin in this system.
Or, how about this one? Karmic block breaker. This literally suggests that following a specific numerical pattern could have the power to fix issues from your past or help you smash through personal obstacles. It's framing numbers as these powerful tools for changing your life.
And of course, they had to do it. The Matrix brings it all home by directly referencing the man himself with the phrase Tesla pure frequency. This brings us right back to where we started, tying this entire system explicitly to the legend of Nikola Tesla.
Okay, now we're getting to the absolute heart of this whole thing, the foundational principle that seems to hold this entire matrix together. Everything we've looked at so far seems to be built on the power of 3. Very specific numbers.
The first key number, the first piece of the puzzle, is 3.
The second number that forms this core trio is 6.
And the third and maybe the most famous number in the whole Tesla mythology is 9. So here's the big reveal. According to the logic of this matrix, 3, 6, and 9 aren't just important numbers in the system. They pretty much are the system. They're presented as the fundamental building blocks for every single cycle and meaning that we've seen.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Look at this. When we filter the matrix to only show rows that mention these numbers, look what happens. They are everywhere in the meaning column. You see base 3 vibration, strong 9 vibration, 3-6-9 alignment. It's the anchor, the recurring theme woven through the entire thing.
Which really just leaves us with one big, final question to think about. Are we looking at a genuine glimpse of some hidden universal code? A real key to the universe, like Tesla might have dreamed of? Or is this just a really beautiful example of something very human? Our deep, deep need to find meaning, to find significance, and to see a grand design in the patterns that surround us every day? Maybe the answer to that is a vibration all its own?